Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of All the Mods 6. How are you guys doing today? How's life? Yes, I'm very happy to hear that, especially about your accidents. Once in a while in every series we have to take a small break, slow down, and try to improve our base. And honestly speaking, I think today is one of those days because some aspects of our base can use a little bit of improvement. For instance, the mob farm. Well, I would like to clarify the manual mob farm. I use it a lot in order to upgrade my sword and also get wither skeleton skulls. And for generating a lot of mana in Mahotsukai, I do have a few rituals over here, which I have to activate manually every time. So if we manage to automate it, I'll be very happy. It is a very simple mob farm and probably we didn't need to have any decorations for it because we're never going to go inside. But I do spend quite a bit of time over here and I was tired of looking at bricks. Anyhow, you might notice that we're using entity conveyors from mob grinding utilities. And the reason that we're using those is that these guys look very bad. The mob fan itself from mob grinding utilities is finicky, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's also a fan from pedestals, but it's very difficult to control. And finally, there is a neat fan from Cyclic, but it has one giant flaw. It does not push you through solid blocks. So unfortunately, we are left with conveyor belts. Anyways, what we have up there is not very important, the important thing is down here. If you didn't know, you can activate or deactivate a ritual from Mahotsukai by just right-clicking. Now it's active, and if I right-click again, it's deactive. But we can also activate them using a redstone signal. Since I have quite a bit of rituals down here, maybe we should activate them using redstone. Although first we have to remove all of them. And then we start thinking about the redstone. These guys have a range of 10 blocks. So if we set them up under the mob farm, they should all be in range. And that is 18 rituals. Fine by me. Just to be able to activate them from up there, we're going to have a wireless redstone receiver over here. And we're going to link it with a GPS card. So the transmitter goes over here, we put in the GPS data card. And I'm assuming if we flick the lever, they should be active. Yes, all of them. It's just that I was not expecting this lever to be so small. It's not even visible. It is perfectly fine, let us give it a test. So we're going to activate the ritual, and we're gaining tons of mana. That's actually a decent speed. By the way, I forgot to mention, if you're wondering how the hell did I manage to get honeycomb blocks, there are beekeeping villagers from resourceful bees and you can just buy honeycomb. And their workstation apparently is a beehive, which thanks to Xnilio you don't actually need any honey in order to craft it. And by the way, since we have been to the end, I wanted to upgrade my Psy gun. Cause at this very moment we have the Psy Metal Cat, we want to go to Ebony or Ivory. Which making the trick is easy peasy, it's just one spell. We right click with the bullet, we add the bullet, and we just have to perform this spell in the end. There you go, we have Ebony from coal and Ivory from nether quartz. So my dear friend, you go to the void and we're going to get a brand new one. After fixing the mob farm, I decided to add a little bit of details to this island, but unfortunately it's not very noticeable because our islands are massive. From that thermal evaporation tower to this gate is 220 blocks. From that pyramid to our Botanio area over there is 300 blocks. So I'm guessing in 400 episodes, this place is eventually going to look nice. Anyways, this is not the main point. The main point is that I went to our applied energistics room and I noticed something very weird. So, we have 610 nanorite crystals and 67 of the tier 6. I do admit that we had a lens for nanorite, but this is incredibly disproportionate. Oh, and by the way, in the entire time we have like 10 of these, which is tier 8. I forgot to set filters for it, so it was still in the ender chest. I think here's what we're going to do. If you guys remember, last episode we did disable one of our tier 6 ore miners to salvage the parts in order to make it tier 7. And now that we have a little bit of the tier 6 crystals, maybe we should reassemble it. And in the meantime, we are also going to have a lens for the tier 8. I just arrived. It seems that this time I did not mess it up, we had all the material. For me personally, that is a record. Anyways, you get the lens. And this one is also set to go, so we should have a decent amount of crystals. Although you know what, these frequency modifiers are tier 6, we can also upgrade them to tier 7. Cause we are extremely short on the tier 6, not on tier 7. So we should probably assemble you again. And how much RF are you consuming? Okay, a lot. So we're going to add one more input and one more flux point. Are we good? Yes. With the entire amount of resources that we have invested in the ore miners, you would expect that you would see crystals every 3 seconds, but this is the result. For some very weird reason, it rains a lot in my world and I have absolutely no idea why. And since I have been nagging a lot about it, someone actually suggested that we should use the Teruterubuzu. I don't know how you pronounce it. This guy. It does not have a terrible recipe, we just need a few mana string and that's it. And we can even craft it over here. So the way that this guy works whenever it's raining, he's sad. And if you give it a sunflower, look what happens. The rain is gone and he's happy. Actually, I could have slept, but you know, during the day it's a pain. Anyway, since today is going to be the day of cleaning up, I realized that we should not have villagers running. How did I kill them? It's okay, we have a few spawn eggs. I can fix it easily. Just before the unfortunate accident, I was going to try and say that since today is the day that we are supposed to clean up, I have moved our villagers. And don't worry, those are not the ones. I made them a nice house and we can trade with them in peace. But one thing that you might notice is that these guys are just taking emeralds. They're not giving me any. That's because villagers are jerks. If you want emeralds, you have to drop them inside the smeltery. And that gives you a decent amount of emerald. Yes, each 2 villagers is 1 gem. Another issue that we have to fix today is our issue with the dissolution chambers from industrial foregoing. Also, I have a slight issue with the production of HDPE, which we will solve after we have figured out the dissolution chambers. First things first, we are generating a decent amount of latex, but we only have 1 dissolution chamber which can process latex. And the original idea was that we're going to have 2 of them. Therefore, I did make an extra one. I'm not going to hook them up to our applied energistic system, so we're not going to have auto crafting with these guys, because what we're going to do is that we're just going to dump the ingredients in bulk, and we will just craft a ton of the material that we need. We just need an ender chest so that we can import the items into the ME, and I'm guessing you just need power? That's it? Yes. And obviously we want you to pull the input and push the output. Oh, I can't cover that. Ew. Actually, thanks to Quark, we can make vertical slabs. So you go over there, and we're done. Now we come to the other side. One of them is used for pink slime and the other one is for aether gas. We have a decent supply of pink slime, so I don't think we're going to need any more, but we need more aether gas. Someone was mentioning that the Lord of Darkness has flowers in his base. These are functional. I use them for dyes. Oh, it's magenta. I don't know, for some reason I always used to think it's purple. Shouldn't you be empty? If you guys remember, the way that we used to get aether gas is that we need to put a fluid laser on top of a living wither. But the problem that we had is that sometimes you could actually break the laser base. I was trying to find the block protector in RF tools, but apparently in the recent version it has not been added yet. So it's okay, we're going to set it up in the end. I have so much garbage on me. But I think we're good. Let us summon the wither. And we just cover him so that he cannot run away. Hopefully. There is something seriously wrong with my sword. I wanted to kill an enderman. The wither died. I'm guessing it's a good thing that I did bring reserves. Oh, they don't like him. It's okay, they can't get to him anyways. So we need to have the laser on top, obviously. And I did bring 12 laser drills. Just FYI, it's still raining. I personally think that the rain is weird. I don't know about you. The reason that I'm doing this in the end is because if you use the Wither Boss Death Muffler, you can get rid of the bar, but the sky in the overworld is going to be dark. And I don't really like that. But we are not getting the gas. I have to bring him 1 level up. I was hoping that we can get away by having a 1 block gap, but unfortunately that is not going to happen. It has to be exactly on top of his head. Don't suffocate. Thank you. Yes, now we're good. Oh, he takes damage. This is a stupid mechanic. Although the Wither actually regenerates health, so maybe he doesn't die? I think he's going to die. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to slow the machine down so that he has time to regenerate health. Yeah, he seems to be regenerating health. That is good. And we have the gas. We just have to chunk load the area and we can go home. Have fun. Make it sunny, please. There is a high chance that he's going to break the laser, but it's okay. If he breaks it, we just have to replace it. Anyways, we have the gas. We just need to give you power. I know that tanks from Mechanism and also the Ender tank, you can just put it on top of the machine and they will auto output. But I actually need the top for the barrel. Like so. And this room is also complete. Oh, I'm missing blocks. There you go. Now it's complete. So now we come to the problem that I have with HDPE. Here is my problem. Whenever you want to make substrate, you will get 100 millibuckets of ethylene. But when you want to convert that substrate into HDPE, you need only 50 millibuckets of ethylene. So if I demonstrate this with berries for you, you might notice that in the second PRC, which is making us HDPE pellets, we are gaining ethylene. Eventually there's going to be a backlog and the first PRC is going to stop. I don't know if this is a new change in mechanism so that you can hook it up to a gas burning generator or not, because I don't remember having this problem. But it should be okay because it's not a very difficult thing to fix. Yeah, it's not, because all we need is that we need to have a gas tank in the center as a buffer, so that it can dump the excess ethylene. That's it. It is true that we can use that ethylene in order to run a gas burning generator, but my personal issue is that we don't really need like 5000 RF per tick. We need millions. One more thing that we have to address today is the modium ingots. And of course by the modium ingots I mean modium, unobtainium and vibranium. Cause here's the problem, we're actually not getting it from the ore miners, and I think the only way of getting it is through sieving. Of course later on maybe we can also get the bee or get into mystical agriculture in order to get the essence. Whichever path we decide to take, we still need a few blocks of them, and so far we're not doing that good. The only one that we have in sufficient quantities is modium, and I think we can make a seed for it. I think that is something that we have to do because there's no other way of getting them anyways. And I hate sifting. I have a few botany pots over here in order to get shroom lights, and I think we can just use one of these. It takes a minute. Ew. Let me clarify, it takes a minute to give you one essence. You need 8 essence to make a nugget. And obviously you get the rest of the idea. In that case, until we figure out what we should do with them, let us make another seed. Just in case. Does it give you 1 essence every time, or I don't know, is it faster? Oh no, it gives you 3. That is nice. It's not nice, but it's a little bit better. But now we have to fix the issue with vibranium and unobtainium. And I noticed that we have an auto compressor, which has a rationing version. And I want to know, do you compress chunks or do you compress these guys? Oh, you do compress them. Okay, then it's relatively easy. Cause instead we can just use 2 heavy sieves and we're good to go. Oh, it takes blocks of steel. After getting polonium, we just got a quest for sifting. Since we only get them from netherite mesh, we need to upgrade this one. There you go. Just to make it a little bit easier for myself, I think I'm going to use our QIO network. We have 16 polonium. Okay, that's not bad. So first things first, we need to compress the crushed endstone and the netherrack. Which thanks to this compressor, it should be relatively easy. Oh, you're too slow. That's not gonna work. I mean, it is going to work, it's just not going to work with one. And if that is the case, we shall have 2. One of them for netherrack and the other one for endstone. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to export the netherrack and the endstone into the heavy sieves. And they should start working. Very good. Can I give you all the modium carrots? Yes. Oh, it doesn't consume it again. But this is a decent speed. And from here onwards, we're going to use our QIO network. Because the items that we want to keep are not that much. We want the fluic seeds, definitely. Quartz, netherite, and vibranium. We need speed upgrades. This time it consumed the carrot. Weird. But look how fast we're getting ores. We don't need chorus flower, so we're going to void it. We don't need the gold, we're going to void it. And also the rose quartz from create. Why do we get fish? Oh, we are in an ocean. Okay. Anyways, that is not very important. I need to get to that ender chest. And since I have blocked my route, it's perfectly fine. We just use an interface. So that we can import the ender pearls, fluic seeds and quartz to our system. Do I need to void you? No, who cares? I thought modium apple is going to be better because it has more saturation, but it's not. It's only 16 times faster. Anyways, that will solve our vibranium and unobtainium issue really fast. Cause we can triple ores anyways, so not the worst. Just a very small point, I just remembered that the QIO network that we're using in order to process ores has only a capacity of 16,000 items, yes. You need an upgrade. And for the upgrade, I need fissile fuel. I keep saying that I don't have enough uranium in order to process fissile fuel, but you should remember that these pipes from Mechanism have a huge buffer. So we do have 7,000 buckets of uranium oxide. So it's not that I'm actually very poor, it's just that I want more resources, that's it. And don't you worry, next episode I think we will get the final tier of the ore miners. So my dear friend, here is your extra fuel, here is your fluorite, and make me polonium. That is incredibly fast. I'm not used to this number. We're not going to go with 1,000,000, we're going to have one which is 128,000. And while we are doing all of this, let us order, I don't know, 3 more ultimate induction cells. I have done a little bit of pre-crafting, so this should be relatively fast. In between the episodes I already added 2, and with this we have 6. And that is a capacity of 9.6 trillion RF. Cause next episode we should be able to get solar panels and we need to bank our power. Anyways, one thing that I have forgotten is gunpowder. We have 663,000. So I think maybe we should start processing some of that. You export gunpowder, you're set to logistics, and you're exporting it. Very good. I received a comment last episode that I don't have to get gunpowder from flint, it's easier to get it from sulfur. It might have been my fault and I did not explain it properly, but we are actually looking for sulfur, not gunpowder. So this is why we have this ridiculous system. You guys have been telling me there is a configuration card. So does it work exactly how I think? We just copy and paste? This is so nice. Thank you. I love you guys. Let me turn off the reactor because there is something that we have to address. It's incredibly loud and it makes editing very difficult for me. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about was nuclear waste, and each barrel can hold 64 buckets. Last episode I mentioned that you cannot break the barrels, and that is very true. You cannot break them, you cannot put them inside a cardboard box, and you cannot send them to another dimension using applied energy sticks. They're going to stay here forever. Basically anything which says it has nuclear waste or spent nuclear waste or polonium in it, you cannot break it, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of radiation. But here's the point. The tubes that you see over here are now empty. So we can have a small modification and add more tubes, so that we can have more waste barrels. And I can even break this one. But even if there's like 1 millibucket of waste inside the tube, if you break it, there's radiation everywhere for like, I don't know, 50 Minecraft days. Anyhow, since I'm running the reactor constantly, I just wanted to make sure that we have enough waste. Do you want to know something fun? I forgot the entire reason why we need to run the reactor. It's not to just get polonium, we need plutonium. I don't know if I have mentioned this or not, but we're using that small reactor over there in order to get the material we need in order to run an SPS chamber from Mechanism so that we can get antimatter. If you look at the recipe of an SPS chamber, you might notice that we need a lot of polonium as well as plutonium. So far we're actually not doing that bad with polonium, but we also need a fair amount of plutonium. I don't really remember how much, but we're going to go with, I don't know, 4 stacks. How do you get plutonium? Well, it's relatively easy. You need nuclear waste and you need an isotopic centrifuge. And I'm assuming since the tubes are empty, we should be able to add you. The input is from the bottom, the output is on the side. So I don't know, can we put you like so? The centrifuge is going to make us plutonium gas, which is radioactive, so you cannot break it. And in order to get the plutonium pellet, we actually need a PRC, which I'm trying my best not to make a janky wiring, but apparently we don't have a choice. The sink goes over there and we pump water from the front. A byproduct of plutonium pellet is also spent nuclear waste. So we need to take that waste from the PRC and dump it in our barrels. Like so. If I have not messed up any of the connections, we should be able to get a little bit of plutonium. Let us test it. There has not been any explosions, that is a good start. Why aren't you processing it? There is a very small chance that I have made a boo-boo. Maybe bottom is the input, this is the output. So can I dump the waste? I don't know what exactly I did, but it's empty. I just put gases on input and output and it went into the solar neutron activators. So you should be fine and I should be able to break you. Yes, we're good. I'm slightly confused. Bottom should be the input. Ignore everything I just mentioned. The machine was off. So we do get plutonium. Yeah, it's working at a decent rate. And here is our first pellets. Although at this very moment we do have a decent supply of polonium, so maybe what I'm going to do is that we're going to break you so that the centrifuge will get all the waste. Now it should be faster? Maybe? Yeah, this is not that bad. Alright guys, we have plutonium, we have fixed a few issues at our base, and we're gathering a lot of crystals for the next episode. But there is one more thing that I want to do before finishing off today's episode, and that is to try and get the Codex Arcana from Mana and Artifice. I'm not exactly sure if this is a mod that we want to play with, but it doesn't hurt to at least have the book. And for a very weird reason which I do not understand, you actually have to buy it from a villager. From what I understood, getting the villager is not incredibly difficult, we just need some glyphs, and then we have to make a rune forge or something? It looks nice. If I put it over there, I cannot see the villager. It's okay, let us see if it works. Oh, it does work. Will you... Oh, you need 8. It's okay, I did make one more stack and we can just buy the book. Do you have any other uses? I can buy flowers, okay. I can buy more flowers. Oh, they do have a use. Okay. The reason that I'm actually interested in this mod is that you can make golems. And since we have to wait like a million years in order to get Thaumcraft, that is the best substitute. Anyway guys, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed it. Till the next one. Bye bye.